Hello. Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah. Hi, Vishnuvardhan. I think that's the correct name I am studying. This is the demo class I think that you have joined. So before starting this demo class, I would like to introduce. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Vishnuvardhan Devi. Uh, I
Mhm.
completed I completed my master's in Computer Information Systems (CIS),
Okay.
Master MSCIS in
Hmm.
Christian Brothers University.
Okay.
Um, I don't have much more knowledge about the Python.
Okay. So this is your means you are very new to Python, or you don't have any prior experience on any programming language.
No, I don't have any experience on programming language. I never worked over there also in when I was back in India.
Okay. Okay. So now you are in India only, correct?
Oh, no, I'm in USA right now.
Okay, currently you are in US. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so the intention to learn Python is to explore something else, or simply you want to learn Python?
Oh no. I got a friends and my brothers also. They are
Uh-huh.
working on the same. They are working on the AWS Python side.
Okay, okay,
Yeah, they're going to support me if I need anything from the back end like that. You know, if I need anything to support or they will
uh-huh.
help me. If I
Okay,
learn, if I don't understand anything properly, I can ask my friends and my
mm,
brothers. They can explain me
okay,
irrespective of period like that. Yeah.
okay, okay. Understood. So thank you for letting me know. Uh, okay, so today is our demo class. So what we'll do is we'll just
Yeah.
cover about
Okay.
Python. Okay, we'll not go into Python. I'll just show you how powerful Python is and why we people actually want to learn only Python. Okay, uh, we have so many
Okay.
languages available today. Okay, so Python is also
Okay.
a language only, but I think it's a programming language. The language that we know is communicating language. Correct, means from which we can communicate with a person who is actually in front of us. Correct. So a language
Yeah.
which actually is able to language is a medium. Okay, which actually helps a person to convey their message to the person. Correct. And similarly, programming
Mhm.
language also works in the similar fashion. Okay, it also tries to
Okay.
convey its message. Okay, so suppose if you want
Okay.
that
Yeah.
my program should solve a particular problem. Okay, I should write a program which should solve a generic problem, like any problem, like calculation of uh, calculation of cubes of all the numbers from 1 to 1000. Okay, so like if you do it manually, it is
Okay.
very difficult to do it. Correct, means you will face lot of
Yeah.
difficulties while doing the calculation of cubes. Correct, like squares is also fine, but I think cube, so there can be many complex problems that you need to solve. Okay, but I think if you just do it manually, taking down a pen and paper and then start calculating the cubes or the squares and then noting it down at some place, so it becomes very difficult for a larger sets. Correct. So suppose if I ask you to do it for 1 to 1000. Okay, so then I think it will be a very tedious job for you to complete it. But I think if you just take the help of a programming language, then I think it becomes a very simple task for me to complete that job. Okay, so
Okay.
now what is the intention here is, now we are trying to solve a problem. Okay, and just to solve that problem we will be using some programming language. Okay, because I cannot do it
Okay.
directly, means there is no other alternative by which I can actually solve this problem. Okay, so there only this programming language comes to help. Okay, and then they solve such problems, or this is not only the problem, there are many problems in the world which are being solved by the help of programming languages. Okay, so Python is also
Okay.
one of them. Is that clear till now? Means uh,
Okay.
I think you would have heard of many various programming languages like Python, Java, C Sharp. Okay, JavaScript,
Okay.
Scala. There
Yeah.
are lot many. Okay,
SQL. Yeah,
yeah,
there are a lot of
SQL.
kinds of
There are
them.
lot many programming languages you would have heard of till now. But I think you cannot learn all of them together, correct? I think you have to choose a language which
Yeah,
you
we have
are
to choose at least one.
correct. At least you have to select a language
Yeah.
so that you
Yeah.
can actually explore the programming languages. Okay, so that I think you
Yeah.
see all
Okay.
programming language does the same thing. Okay, all programming language work is to do the same thing. Only the difference comes where the ease of use. Okay, that is one of the factors. Another is how powerful a language is. Okay, so then that is the second factor. Okay, so suppose if a
Okay.
programming language is easier to learn, so people generally will go towards that because in the initially it becomes very difficult to learn a complex language, correct?
Yes.
So if the language is very complex to learn, I won't prefer that. I will try to avoid that language because in the initially I don't have any experience, and directly if I learn a complex language, then it will be of no use because I'll not be able to understand that only. So that's why we
Okay.
should learn a language which is very easy to learn, and also it is having lesser complex syntaxes, and also it is more powerful. Okay, and that's where this Python comes into picture. Okay, because Python has
Okay.
got all these factors included. Okay, like Python is easy to learn. Okay, and then Python can solve
Okay.
very complex problems very easily. Okay,
Okay.
so Python is a programming language which is also used in the fields of data science. Okay, I think you would have heard of
Okay.
the term data science, correct? Data
Yeah.
science
I
or in
heard
the field,
about the data science.
yeah, data science, artificial intelligence. Okay, and also statistics. At all these
Yeah.
places,
I,
Python is most widely used. Okay, because people generally, Python is so popular, so powerful language that it can actually do lot of computation works very easily. Okay, and that's the reason Python is being used in all such fields. Okay,
okay.
this is also one of the reason like people go towards Python. Okay, they actually start learning Python. Okay, so and there is one
Yeah.
more advantage of Python is like in other language, if you want to get a single output, okay, same output you can get in a single line of code. Okay, in Python, same output you
Okay.
can get in a single line of code, but if you just try to get the same output in other language, okay, so in that case, in other
Okay.
language you have to write 3 to 4 lines or 5 lines in order to get a single output. Got it? So
Yeah, I got it.
yeah, so these are the disadvantages of the other language in comparison to Python. Okay, so Python is able to give you the more output in a lesser number of lines of code.
Okay.
Okay, so what we'll do is I'll just share my screen and we'll just have a quick look around of Python. Okay, and
Okay.
I'll just let me open the node. So, so what I was talking is, so we'll start with the Python now. Okay, means this was the about Python, means why we generally choose Python. Okay, so the decision
Okay.
to have Python as a language is just because of the ease of use. Okay, and
Okay.
then so now we'll see what Python is actually. Okay, so Python is interactive. Okay, so Python is interactive,
Okay.
Python is interpreted, and Python is object oriented, and Python is high level programming language. Okay, so now, before going to all these points, okay, I don't want to bore you with the theory part. Okay, I'll just give you a quick demo of how powerful Python is. Okay, and how
Okay.
it is interactive. Okay, so interactive is something I can communicate with Python very easily. That's what I'm going to show you. Okay. So, but before going there, okay. So
Mhm.
there are a few things that you should know. Anything that
Okay.
gets written, okay, anything that gets written on the computer, okay. So how this communication is actually being established with the machine, okay. I think everything that we write, it is the code that we write, it is always on the machine. Suppose this machine can be your laptop, or this machine can be your desktop, okay. Anything, any machine that you have, and which
Okay.
has got certain memory, which has got certain RAM, okay, and which has got
Okay.
some
Okay.
storage point, okay. So there you can just go and write the Python code, or any code that you go and write, okay. But I think there will be certain thing in the backend who is actually responsible for uh, doing this translation, okay. Means okay, that, okay, anything that you write, you can just see my screen now. uh,
Yeah,
Everything that is
it's
written
visible.
here, it is the screen alphabets, okay. They all are alphabets, and they all are English words, okay, that you can understand very easily, okay.
Okay.
But I think, can you imagine that whether this English alphabet that you have written, so machine would be able to understand that? So machine can never understand the language that you write, okay? It can always
Okay.
understand the voltages, okay? Means it always understands the zero and ones.
Voltages.
Zeros and ones.
Okay.
That is binary data, okay. Always, I think it works on a binary data. Binary data is actually, zero is represented as a low voltage and one is represented as a high voltage, okay. So
Okay.
anything which is understood by the computer, okay, it is always in the terms of voltages, okay. So now, means everything that you see on the screen, from here to that 0 to 1 conversion, it is very difficult, correct? Means someone has to be
Mhm.
there who does this conversion for us, or for Python or any other language, so that I get the desired
Okay.
output. So see, for the communication to be established, I think there should be someone who understand it, correct? So then only I
Yes.
can get the response from the backend. So suppose if I am talking to you, if you are not able to understand my language, you will never respond me back, because you will not understand anything.
Yes.
That should also happen with computer also, correct? If you are trying to write something, so computer should be able to
Okay.
understand that. Then only then computer will respond me back with some output, correct?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the common,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's the generic thing. That means that is quite obvious. Means just to get a response, first of all, it has to understand what I'm trying to say. That's the
Okay.
that's the thing. Means it should happen. So to make it happen, there is someone sitting in the back end who does this, okay. So its name is compiler or interpreter, okay. So the compiler and
Okay.
interpreter is the two term which is actually used in all the languages, okay. And this is very common to all the language, because it is always required, okay. Anything that you write on an editor, okay, editor is a place where we write a code, okay. And anything that you
Mhm.
write on an editor, so first of all, it is actually compiled or interpreted, and then it is given to the computer, and then once computer understand the compiled code, and then it will respond you back, okay. So this is a complete life cycle of the code that we write, okay. I just gave you an overview on the life cycle of the code that is actually executed every time.
Okay.
Is that clear? So
Yeah.
now
Okay.
we'll just quickly see how easy Python is. Okay, so this was all about the conversions and all. We'll just study more on this when we start with the topics. Okay, so when we
Okay.
start with the syllabus, so then we'll see more about this interpreter and compiler. So how this is done and why it is done like that. So, but I think now, just coming back to the Python. Okay, we will see.
Okay.
So this is the interpreted interactive mode of Python. Okay, interactive mode of Python. It means here you can interact with Python very easily. Okay, you just come here
Okay.
and write a very big number. Okay, and then you
Okay.
just try to add it with a very big number. Okay, you can see this is how big a number is. Now if you just hit enter,
Okay.
you will get an answer to it.
Okay.
What you wrote is a mathematical expression, correct? This is mathematical expression, correct? In math, you would
Yes.
have studied
Yeah.
this. This is a medicine. Okay, you can also try multiplication. Okay, so like suppose I am writing and this, and then you can just do this is my multiplication I am trying. Hit enter. You can get the answer very easily. Okay, with a single click, you are
Okay.
getting an answer. Correct.
Yes.
So the means you don't require any prior knowledge to write this. Correct.
Yes.
I think only a simple basic elementary education is required to understand this. Means it is a multiplication, this is addition, correct? Normal addition and
Yeah.
subtraction, you can directly write on a Python editor, you are able to understand that, yeah, this is how it is evaluated, okay? I think now if you try to do the same thing in other programming language, so I think for this you have to do so many things in order to get the same output, okay? So because you don't have any other programming language experience, so that's why I think you are not able to feel it, okay? Because you have not
Okay.
seen the pain of writing codes inside in other languages, okay? But I think in
Yeah.
Python you need not to worry about need not to worry much in order to get a
Okay.
simple output, okay? So now
Okay.
if I simply write print, okay? So I can simply write
Okay.
print hello world, okay?
Okay.
Just hit enter, you are getting an output, correct? This is hello world. So you are able
Yeah.
to execute a Python code now. Means you are able to write your first program in Python very easily. Okay, this is your first Python code you can think of. Okay, so
Okay.
this is about Python. Okay, this is about Python. Means this hello world. Okay, like now you can also take and you can also interact with the Python. Okay, let's see this. Suppose I just try to store your name here. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll use don't ask me what are this function because we are already going to study. But I think these are one-liner function. I think you need not to remember. So see, what I'm going to do is I'm going to store something in Python. Okay, like enter your name.
Okay.
I am asking enter your name. Okay.
Okay.
So now you see Python is asking me enter your name. Okay. So suppose if I write my name as David. Okay. So if I hit
Okay.
enter, so now if I write print, if I want to recall what I entered, okay. So you just hit enter name. It will print David. Every time you print
Mm.
name, it will print David because now Python knows that your name is David. Okay. And that name you have stored
Okay.
inside this variable called name. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So now that's why it is able to store it somewhere. Okay, it is store this. It will store this information inside the computer's memory. Okay, so that
Okay.
again, if you want to know that what you entered, okay, and what you have stored, you can again use this variable to get it. Clear?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Clear.
So this is how it works. Okay, this is how Python is actually working. Okay, means we are able to write a single liner code here, and single liner code only I am showing you. I am not writing a very complex code here. Okay, but I think the idea is
Okay.
to show you how Python is actually you need not to worry about the syntaxes. More there is no complex syntaxes involved in Python. Okay, very easy syntaxes are there and you can learn it very easily. Okay, so this was about a little bit about Python. So now what we'll do is we'll just look at the course content that we are going to cover throughout this session. Okay, so
Okay.
let me just give you an overview on the topics.
Okay.
Okay. So throughout this course, we are going to divide our course in two parts. One is core Python and another is advanced Python. Okay. Apart from the core
Okay.
and advanced Python, we are also going to see pandas and numpy. Okay. So these are the two important
Okay.
libraries that are very useful nowadays. But I think in the core Python, as a part of core Python, we will be actually introducing you with the languages. Okay, all the programming language, and also we are going to
Okay.
introduce with the Python, and then we will actually start with the Python fundamentals. Okay, and then we'll see the Python variables. Okay, what are the Python variables that we
Okay.
use, and then the operators, and then input and output methods, and then the data structures inside the Python that we use, like list collection, tuple collection, set collection, dictionary collection. Okay, and then the
Okay.
functions. Okay, then
Okay.
uh, this will be covered as a part of core Python. Okay, and then in the advanced Python,
Okay.
we are going to see what are Python modules, what are packages, what are OOPS concept. OOPS stands for object oriented programming language. Okay, so this is also
Okay.
being covered as a part of advanced topic. Okay, and then after this, we are going to see operator overloading, and then the exception handling and the types of error that is actually happening in Python. Okay, and then the regular expressions in Python, and then file and directly handling, and then Python logging, and then date and time module, OS module, multi-threading and
Okay.
multi-processing. Okay, and then garbage collection, and then Python database communication. Okay, how the Python is able to help, how Python is helping us to communicate with the databases. Okay, that also we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see network programming in Python. Okay, then TK Inter and Turtle. This is called GUI programming. Okay, we'll be also be able to,
Okay.
you will also be introduced with the desktop applications and all, which are actually built with the help of Python. So we'll also going to see that, and then data analytics module. Data analytics modules are nothing but NumPy and Pandas. So we are going to see
Okay.
them as well. Okay, so this is a
Okay.
complete syllabus. Okay, that we are going to cover. Okay,
Okay. Yeah.
and
I'm
do you have any expectation which is not being covered here in the topic? So I think if you have some extra topic that you think like which is not covered here, you can also mention that, and we'll just try to
okay.
cover that as a part of the syllabus.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay? Now you do you have any questions related to anything? You can ask me now.
Yeah, I'm good with that. Yeah.
Okay, you're good. Okay. Okay, so if you're good with that, so let me just show you the differences. I think I was talking about the differences in with other programming language. You can see here in the left hand side we are having a Java code written. Okay,
Okay.
and this Java code is not, it is doing nothing but it is printing hello world. Okay,
Okay. Yeah.
and in the right hand side you can see we have a Python code which is also printing hello world. But
Okay.
if you look at the differences in both the code, in the Java code, we are having 5 lines of code written. Okay, it is having so much syntaxes, like you have to start with a public class main and then a static void main, and then it has to follow it with a string argument, and then we have to writing system.out.println, and then it will print the hello world. Okay, like this we have to write.
Okay.
So, but in case of Python, you need not to write anything. You simply have to write the print and hello world. Correct?
Okay. Yeah. Yes. Correct. That's correct.
If both the statements, miss both the codes are giving us the same output, then why to write 5 lines of code just to get a single output? Correct?
Yes.
Yeah, and this is the reason
Yeah.
Python is much popular nowadays.
Yeah. It's like simple and easy, like rest of,
Correct,
compared to the rest of the programming
correct,
languages.
correct. So yeah, now if you just look at the way the other language are getting compiled, okay. So now you see
Okay.
Java is getting compiled to the class, okay, and
Okay.
then it is giving you the output. But in case of Python, it is not happening. Okay, so Python is directly
Yes.
compiled and it is giving you the output directly on the console. There is no intermediate file that gets generated ideally, but I think we'll just look at it later point. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so I think this is the difference between Python 2 and Python 3. So what happened in
Okay.
Python, it was having this they follow the legacy, okay, and means from the previous time only this was being coming up, okay. Like you see, the print statement is it is actually different in Python 2, but in case of Python 3, it is
Okay.
having square bracket, and then it is coming up inside the uh, most only the square brackets are included. I think here you see, sorry, not a square bracket, it is parenthesis, okay. So here you are having
Okay.
parenthesis, and here you don't have parenthesis, okay. So this is the difference
Okay.
in Python 2 and Python 3. And if you just look at this 7 divided by 2 equal to 3, earlier it was 3, but I think now it is 3.5. Got it? Earlier it was approximate value. 7 divided by 2, if you do, you are getting the approximate value, that is 3, correct? But ideally it is
Yeah.
3.5.
Yeah. It's
So I think we introduced the floating point numbers as well. So floating point numbers are nothing but they are the decimal numbers. I think if you have heard of decimal numbers in your maths, already in maths we have decimal numbers to study. So same decimal numbers we
okay.
call it as a floating point numbers in Python. Okay. So
Okay.
this was one of the difference in Python 2 and Python 3. And then we have ASCII and Unicode. Okay. So ASCII characters are
Okay.
nothing but special characters. Okay. We have alphabets,
Okay.
we have digits, we have special characters. Okay. They all are part of ASCII code. What is ASCII? ASCII is a standardized uh, body which actually maintains these symbols, okay, which can be used in any of the programming language, okay. So that is called ASCII code, okay. And but now
Okay.
in Python they started using Unicode, okay,
Okay.
in Python 3, okay. Now I think in the libraries there is a difference, okay. There are so many libraries that have been evolved in case of Python 3, okay. And then the legacy and the future, okay. And this Python 3 is the future, and this is the old way of writing a
Legacy.
Python,
Okay.
that is legacy, okay. So this is the
Okay.
difference between Python 2 and Python 3. So I think this is the property, you can say it as an advantage of Python. So it is a simple, beginner friendly,
Mhm.
versatile and flexible, mature package libraries, expandable and supports AI. Okay. So you can see these are the advantages of Python that you can imagine. Okay. Uh, so much, so many advantages it has, like simple, beginner
Okay.
friendly and all. So already we have discussed on this. Okay, here also
Okay.
the advantages are written here. Free and open source. Python is free and open source. Means open source means anybody can come and contribute to this language. Okay, it is also having vast
Okay.
library support, and it is dynamically typed. So we'll talk about what is dynamically typed. Okay, and then improve productivity. Okay, so it actually enhances the
Uh,
productivity of the code, and that's why this Python is being used at most of the application development. Okay, and then we are having
okay.
object oriented. Okay, object oriented is nothing but a program being converted to in terms of object, okay, and then the communication between the objects only takes place in the programming, okay.
Okay.
So that is called object oriented programming.
Okay.
Okay, there are certain disadvantages of Python as well, okay. So like speed limitation, design restrictions, and weak in mobile computing and underdeveloped DB layers, okay. So we'll talk about why the speed limitations is there in the Python as well, in Python, okay, and also there are certain design restrictions, okay, and also it is weak in
Okay.
mobile computing, okay. So because Python is not used for the mobile application development, okay, it is used for the web application development. So that's why it is weak in mobile computing, because Python is not worked in that direction, okay. So to develop an application something compatible to the mobile and all, so Python has not at all worked in that area, okay. So that's why Python is actually weak in mobile computing, okay. And it
Okay.
underdeveloped DB layers, okay. So I think Python has got underdeveloped, means already it is being developed but not fully matured, okay. So suppose if you are building any
Okay.
library, so it will get matured by the time, okay, not at once. So suppose if you build a library, so it has to be tested by many of the developers, and then only it will get matured enough. Okay. So now what it is saying is
Yeah.
DB layer underdeveloped, means it is developed, but it is not that much user friendly. Okay. That's the
Okay. Yeah.
that's the issue of Python. Okay. So these are the disadvantages. Okay. So now we can
Mhm.
see the frameworks that are being supported in Python. Okay. You can just see. like Flask. Some of them you would have heard even, like Flask, Web2Py, CherryPy, Django, Tornado, Pyramid. So have you heard Django?
No.
No. Okay, not an issue. So I think these are the means terminologies that we use for Python. Okay, so Python has got so much web framework. So web framework are used to develop a web application. Okay, just to give you a simple idea. So web frameworks are used to develop a web application. So all the web applications that are being developed, so they always requires a framework. So what are frameworks? So frameworks are already well-defined forms. Okay, well-defined rules.
Forms.
After once you follow those rules, you will be able to build a web application easily. Okay, so they are already well proven paths, you can say. Got it? So they are
Yeah, got
they are you can say as a kind of set of code written at one place, and just it is exposed to the user, by using which user can easily develop a web application, because they don't want that user should face so much problem in the beginning when they start developing a web application. Okay, and that's why they create their own framework in order to help the user to start their first application or web application easily. Got it? So they are called as a web
Okay.
framework, and web frameworks are developed by the individual languages owner. Okay, like Python has got their own web framework. Okay, so like Java has got their own web framework. Okay, like this, all the individual programming language has their own all has their own framework. Got it?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, so in Python we have these many extensions like .py, .pyc, .pyd, .pyo, .pyw, and .pyz. Okay, so you see what are the
Okay.
stages. So the normal extension for a Python source file, the compiled code .pyc is a compiled code. A Windows DLL file .pyd. If you have any DLL file, so that will be converted to .pyd. And a file created with optimization, so that will be having an extension called .pyo. And a Python script for Windows, if you write it, so it will be .pyw. And if you write a Python script archive, so it will be having a extension called .pyz. Okay,
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
so I think we will just end our demo here. Okay. So what
Okay.
is from your side is, so suppose if you want to continue with the class, so I think you can inform the team like you want to continue with the session. Okay. So that we can actually start with the session. And the already I have told you what are the topics we are going to cover as a part of this course. Okay. And suppose if
Okay.
you feel something has to be included, you can revert me back before the class starts. Okay, and you can inform
Okay.
all this to the coordinators. Okay, who have shared the meeting link to you. So yeah, then we can
Okay.
continue next class. Okay, and what is the time preferred for you? Preferred time for you?
Yeah. This time is available. I'm good with this time. Yeah, I have no
You
problem
good?
with this time.
Okay, you're good with this time. Okay, okay, not an issue. I can
Yeah.
inform our team. I think they will schedule the meeting. Okay,
Okay.
sure. Then thank you. Have a nice day, and thank you for joining the demo session.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye bye.